Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday, I believe it is. I'm just down here in the east coast of Australia, one of my favourite spots. Just about to go for a surf. Feeling really grateful for our beautiful environment, our beautiful oceans, and beautiful beaches, and I'd really like to keep it that way, you know. So basically I'm just going to do a real quick video today. I did a long one the other day, but I want to keep this really quickly. Basically, for all the environmentalists out there in this country, everyone who's interested in stopping Adani, everyone who is against mandatory vaccines, regardless of your take on it, whether you believe people should have a say in that, also farmers, if you're a farmer, please listen, because this concerns you. If you're a pensioner, basically anyone in Australia, this is concerning you. So I just want to do real quickly talk about the Great Australian Party again, and why I am promoting this party, even though I'm not part of the party. I'm not a member of the party as yet, but I'm really promoting it because everything I've spoken about in previous videos has been basically put in their policies and objectives for this country, which is a really positive thing to see this coming out in politics. Senators representing the people on behalf of our great country. So basically the first one, for all the anti-vaxxers, or the people who do not believe in mandatory forced vaccination, which is myself included, because everyone has the right to choose whether or not they want to vaccinate their children. So we've got here on their policies and objectives: adhere to Article 7 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. In example, no forced medication, vaccinations, fluoride in the water, or forced mental health care, etc. That is one of their policies there. Next one, to stop foreign ownership of Australia's freehold, agriculture, resources and mining lease land, to stop and discontinue all fracking on Australian land. So it's my understanding and my belief that if we are to stop foreign ownership of our lease land and our resources and assets, that means that Adani, I believe, is an Indian-owned company. It is a foreign-owned company. That means that Adani will not be allowed to go ahead under the Great Australian Party. That's my taking of it. They haven't said that themselves, but reading off their policies, this is how it appears. If you want to stop Adani, if you want to make change, I really urge you to have a look at this party and have a look at their policies. It is the Great Australian Party. We've also got for farming and agriculture. Look, for the farmers, basically these guys are looking to reinstitute our constitution and educate all senators, and anyone in parliament must be educated on our constitution. Now, in the constitution, it says that farmers, everyone has the right to fair use of water and shall not be charged for it. So basically, all you farmers that are getting charged and unable to keep your farms going because of the water prices, I suggest you have a look at this party, have a look at their policies, and really consider where you put your vote this election, because this will be the most important election probably in our history. If one of the major parties get in, I don't know what's going to happen, but I really suggest that people start to look at the policies and look at the people they're voting for. I spoke to one woman yesterday who told me she doesn't get involved in politics, and I asked her, do you vote? And she said yes. If you vote, you are involved in politics. All right, if you are giving power to someone else, you are involved in politics, whether you like it or not. If you pay tax, if you work a job, if you own a home, if you rent a home, if you travel on the public roads, if you drive on the public roads, if you have children in school, if you use medical services, if you are alive in this country, you are involved in politics, whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not. That's the way it is, because every single decision that gets made in politics affects your life and the lives of your children, mine as well. So farming and agriculture, to irrigate Australia and encourage the reinstatement of co-ops, and to encourage value-adding industries and or manufacturing in agriculture, to support the end user customer values, both domestic and international. Brilliant. Again, I say, farmers, right to a bridge water. It's in the Constitution. If this party gets in, they will be reinforcing our Constitution, making sure our Constitution is upheld. Right, that's where our rights come from. It's the Constitution, it's the Magna Carta, it's the Bill of Rights. The Constitution comes with all these documents that not provide our rights, but outline our rights and outline the limits of parliaments and governments. Right, to abolish divisive and discriminatory policies such as those related to Aboriginal and multicultural affairs. Right, you know, we've got big problems inland in the Aboriginal communities where the young Aboriginals are being locked up and basically treated like, you know, treated really badly in these centres and in those communities. So I really urge the Aboriginal people, or the original people of this land, to have a look at this party. It may not be exactly what we want, and I'm also speaking to another elder about another party prospect, but probably for this election it's too late. So this party appears to be the best, in my opinion, in the ones I've read. So I encourage you guys to look at this. No civil conscription. Right, so to promote clear and concise legislation around people being able to access any form of benefit without conforming to civil conscription. It means you're not going to be held under duress, you're not going to be held under slavery in order to receive benefits from the government. Obviously, if you read the Constitution, it says in there all dental, all medical, all that stuff is supposed to be free and available to the people of the Commonwealth. So I advise you to look at that one. What else have we got? No privatisation of public assets as prescribed in section 51 of the Commonwealth Constitution. Again, it's most important that we don't privatise our Commonwealth assets because we end up with nothing left and a big debt, you know. And if you've been looking at some of the information being passed around, it appears, I haven't searched it myself, but it appears that you know, lots of medical things are being taken away in the near future, in the very near future, such as no more free x-rays or free blood tests, no more Medicare rebates, you know, all these things that are being taken away, all these things that are granted to you by and under the Constitution, the de jure Constitution, the proper Constitution. This is why it is so important that we have that Constitution in place and that it's being adhered to. And the way they're going to enforce that is by making sure that all members of Parliament are well versed and read in that Commonwealth Federal Constitution. Right, biosecurity, to fully protect our biosecurity and stop the import of certain unprocessed foods. Acknowledge and respect the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders as people of this land under the Commonwealth Constitution in equity. Citizens initiated referendum. This one's massive. I go on about this one a lot. This is where citizens initiated referendum. It's about giving the power back to the people, giving the voice back to the people. We could have 4 referendums a year where we vote on the laws that Parliament wishes to pass that are going to affect the lives of all the people in this country. So we have a say, the people of this country say what goes, not the media, not the mainstream media, and not the politicians that are put there to listen to the people, right? So that is the importance of citizens initiated referendums. We can also get rid of politicians in citizens initiated referendums if they do not conform and comply with the will of the people. We're also talking about teaching our rights to children in schools, teaching the Commonwealth Constitution in schools, as well as the Magna Carta, which teaches our rights and which really outline the limits and the constraints on government, you know. So that's really important to teach that stuff in schools. Restore the judiciary to make sure it is operating in line with the Commonwealth Constitution, make sure it's acting in line with the common law and acting lawfully. Extremely important in order not to have a corrupt system where the arbitrary will of the few can be enforced on the many. And another big one that I really like is the fact that they are talking about abolishing personal income tax back to what it was. You know, it was only instituted in order to pay for the World War, back in World War II, I believe. It was instituted to pay the debt associated with that war, but because government was making so much money off it and lining their pockets, they decided to keep it. But the Great Australian Party stands to abolish personal income tax and to reinstate corporate tax, because the corporations, the big corporations, are the ones that are doing the damage to the environment. These are the ones that are causing the damage to the environment, so it stands to reason that they should have to compensate for the environment, not the people, not the consumer, if that makes sense. That will also force big companies to be more considerate about their ways and their ways of spending money. And that one is also got local government reform. The taxation reform consistent with the Commonwealth Constitution. As inherited, all taxes are voluntary for all subjects of the Commonwealth. All public infrastructure to be funded by the national estate, in brackets all commodities and natural resources within the Commonwealth of Australia. So, you know, you could even have a system of tax set up where if the government wants to build something such as roads or hospitals or whatever it may be, then they would then put that to a vote to the people, and the people would say, yes, we want to build that, so hey, we're going to put in these taxes, we're going to pay for this because this is going to benefit our country and our people. None of this taking taxes and being taxed half of your wage and that going offshore to a private corporation or a private bank. It's not fair, it's not just, and it's not right for the Australian people. It is not good for our country, and it is not good for our children's future. So this is what it says under the taxation reform. B, we will show the entire country can be successfully funded through the correct taxation of corporations without the need for people to pay personal income tax. You know, how it was done. So anyway, I just wanted to make a really quick video today so that, you know, I know long videos turn people off, so I'm going to leave it at that pretty much. Sorry, I'm not going to go through the comments just in order to keep it short. Thanks, Luke. I did try and get onto the party about becoming a member, but it's too late. So, or becoming a candidate, so it's too late apparently. But if it's not, maybe someone could let me know. Other than that, the reason why I'm putting this information out there so much is because it is imperative, I believe, in the research that I've done, that this party gets in by a majority vote if we want to see change. If we want to stop Adani, if we want to stop forced vaccination, if we want to stop geoengineering, if we want to return this country back to its natural state and reform our judiciary system and get rid of the corruption. You know, as I said some of this stuff to the woman yesterday, and she kind of smirked and you know, and laughed like it was a joke, and I'm like, well, is this not what you want? You know, and she's like, well, yeah, I mean, this is what people want. They want all these things, but they're too scared to take 5 minutes and read a document, or they're too scared to put their name, tick the box. You know, I really urge people, if you've been putting your energy and time into any of these projects where you are fighting for the rights of the people or the environment, take 10 minutes, take 5 minutes, read this document and share it with your friends and talk about it, because this is the way it's going to be changed. This is how, if you want the courts to listen to the people, they need to be reformed. If you want the parliament to listen to the people, it needs to be reformed. If you want to stop the destruction of our environment, it needs to be reformed. The legislation needs to be reformed. That's in their policies. Local government needs to be reformed. That's in the policies. Focus law enforcement on eliminating true crimes, such as crimes with victims, not victimless crimes, such as state offences, such as driving or smoking marijuana or whatever it may be. They're not a victimless. If it's a victimless crime, there's no crime. In fact, the person who's arrested or charged or has a monetary thing put against them becomes the victim. Okay, that's the truth about it. Anyway, also bank reform, look at this document. If you want to make a change, please look at this document and consider who you are voting for in this election, because this will be the most important election that Australia has seen to date. Anyway, many blessings. Thanks for watching. It is a gorgeous day. As you can see, the waves are pumping. I'm about to go out and get some. And yeah, please share the video. Please share it, because we need to get this out to the people. This needs to get out to the people as much as possible. It needs exposure. So thank you for watching, and please share.